Hi everyone, and welcome to episode number 190 of the Karen Knits podcast. My name is Karen, and I'm coming to you from South Central Pennsylvania, where I live, where I work, where I knit and crochet, and get into all kinds of other crafting shenanigans. I'm so happy to have you here with me today. I'm filming this late in the afternoon on Saturday, December 16th. And I'll get it uploaded on Sunday morning. So when you see this, it'll be Sunday, the 17th. So it's just the day has escaped on me. We've been busy coming home from some travel, and I got a sneeze coming too. And I just didn't get a chance to get this filmed and posted any sooner. So you'll see I'm in a different spot today. Let me know what you think of this spot. I might move over here, although you can hear the heater running. That should fade away, kick in and out, depending on whether it warms up much in here. I was planning on filming in my normal setting, but there's all kinds of stuff going on right downtown, and it's so noisy. It is so noisy. Oh, there we go. The heater just kicked off. Maybe when I film these, if I do it back here, I'm in the dining room right now. Maybe if I do this back here more often, I'll have to just shut the heater off for the half hour or so that I'm filming. We shall see. Let me know what you think down below. But anyway, they're having downtown stroll or something like that. A bunch of shops and things are open today. They're usually open on Saturdays, but anyway, they are having all kinds of different giveaways and things. There's some people right up front that are yelling, and I mean yelling. They will have laryngitis by the time they're done this afternoon, about free hot dogs and free cookies. And people are honking, and it's just it's way too much noise up front, way more noise than normal. You guys are used to all kinds of noise coming from through my windows in the apartment on a regular basis, but this is even too much for me. So I decided to, even the hubby was suggesting, he said, why don't you move down to the dining room and try filming there? So I said, yeah, I'll give it a try today and see. I'll see what I think of it. I'll see what you guys think of it. The background is incredibly boring. There's nothing behind me. I might be able to tweak that and fix that up a bit. But we'll see. We'll see if I want to move here, or if I want to just go back to my regular spot again. Maybe I'll spin around the other way and have my china cabinet behind me. That's not much more exciting than this is. But anyway, so I've had a busy week. It's been a fun and busy week. The semester is over, classes are done. I've knit a whole bunch of granny squares. I have no idea what we're in for today, guys. You've been forewarned. I made a whole stack of more granny squares. I've been, for the most part, keeping up with my Advent knitting, and I'm really happy with that. If I fall behind, that's fine. But for now, for the most part, I am keeping up, and I'm happy with that. And I have a new cast on since I saw you last. Like I need another cast on, like I need a hole in the head. It's Advent season. What can I do? I'm drinking a cup of tea in my little owl cup. This is the tea I bought yesterday. We were out of town for a couple days. We went down to Frederick, Maryland. It's about a 45-minute to an hour drive from our place. There's this little tea shop, and they have all kinds of tea. And this is one of their house blends. I hope that's in focus for you. But it's nice. It's quite nice. It has, Voila is the name of it. It's a black tea, notes of caramel, bergamot, currant, and cranberry. It's good. It's quite good. I'm enjoying it. So that was one of my little treats I bought myself when we were away. I'll show you something else I bought for myself while we were away in just a couple minutes. So first off, my granny stack. I have oh, there's the heaters coming back on again. I'm not sure what we're in for today, guys, but bear with me, please. So here's what I have so far with my granny squares. I have all 16 days so far done. Here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah, 16 days are done. And I forget which one I was at when I last saw you. I think these ones are new. I think I had done some of this purple. So let's just look at it from that way. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So day 7. This was day 8. Day 9. Day 10. Eleven, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. Finished doing these up this morning. So I have to double check my numbers and see how many more squares I have to do. I think I'm at 16, I'm at 48 squares now. I think I need 68 plus a bunch of half granny squares and a couple little quarter granny squares. So I'm going to see how that's coming along, and I will have to nip into a little bit of my stash to get just a few more to finish it off. And once I'm through with the I haven't even told you what I'm making, have I? This is to make the Ariana cardigan, which is a pattern by Amy Christophers, and it is written as either a DK, I think a DK weight granny, or with DK weight granny squares, and each of the squares are the same but multi colors. I saw Alex from my Knitty Corner, or no, my Yarny Corner. She had done a fingering weight version of this, and I loved it. So I'm copying her. Simple as that. And so I'm using all of my Advent squares from my Chickadee Fiber Arts Advent calendar that I got this year. So I'll be using all of the yarns from there to make an Ariana cardigan. And once I'm done with all the squares, and once we've hit Christmas Day, I'm going to switch over and start joining them. And I'll be joining them all in a bare yarn. So that's the next step once all the squares are completed. I've also been keeping up with my Advent scarf for 2023, or this year it's a cowl. And I have not done today's 2 rows, but otherwise I have kept up to date. This, I probably don't have the best yarn choice for this one, but that's okay. I'll still enjoy it, wear it. I'm enjoying working on it. This is a pattern by Trisha Weatherston, and she has a group over on Ravelry where we are doing a knit along to make this cowl this year. And there's The clues come out each day for 24 days, and we typically have 2 rows per day to knit, or 2 rounds per day to knit. There were a couple days, I think 4 days, where we had 3 rounds, and the final day will be, I think it's 4 rounds of ribbing. So that's coming along nicely. I am using Upcycle, I'm drawing a blank. It's a yarn by Knit Picks. It's a sport weight. Drawing a blank on the name. I will have that information about the yarn will be on my project page, which is going to be linked down below. So there's that one. I have also been, and so the only thing I have to do to keep up with that one is do today's 2 rounds. And it's only mid-afternoon, well 3:30 now. I will get that finished up today. That's the last of my Advent knitting that I plan on getting done today. So once that's done, I'm completely caught up. The next project I have, next Advent project, are my Freckled Whimsy Hearth and Home Christmas or Advent 2023 colorway. So this is a series of 24 stripes, different colored stripes. I am at the point now where I have 1.5 more rounds to go, and it's time to do the heel turn and the heel flap, and then I'll be going up the legs. So tomorrow's knitting will take me a little bit longer because I have 2 heel turns and heel flaps to get finished, but that's fine. And the next color is going to be this brighter red. Then it transitions to what look like more wonderful colors. So those are my Freckled Whimsy Advent socks. That I'm just using a simple 2 at a time toe up kind of recipe, and I'm doing the toes, the heels, and a tiny bit on the cuff in bare yarn, and the rest I'm using the Advent self-striping. So I did the toes ahead of time, and I'm aiming to knit 1 color repeat per day through Advent. So far I'm keeping up. I've finished day 16 already today, and I will be ready to get started on day 17 and then get the heels done. So that'll be a bigger chunk of knitting on that Advent tomorrow, but that's fine. And the last thing I want to show you, the other thing is I have not done any work on my December socks, and I have not done any work on my Geo Gradient. Geo Gradient is, I'm not going to do anything with that until we get into next year. Or Advent, all my Advent knitting is complete. I would like to get it completely finished in 2023, but I'm not 100% sure I'll manage that. We shall see. And the other thing that I have started since I last talked to you on the podcast, if you've been following my daily vlogs, you will have seen this a few times earlier in the week, but I have not had a chance to get any more work done on this since earlier in the week. And these are a pair of toe-up Sorta Shorty Advent Scrap Socks, or Advent Scrappy Socks. So they are going to be made with the leftover yarn from my Chickadee Fiber Arts Advent. So I'm using each of the 20-gram cakes of, or 20-gram skeins of yarn. That gives me, oh, there goes the heater again, off, thank you. That gives me 3 granny squares and a little teeny, roughly 2-gram ball of yarn left over. So I don't want to waste anything. So I am going to make a pair of toe-up sort of shorty socks, and I'm just, however many rounds that 2 grams or 2-ish grams gives me are going into a pair of 2 at a time toe-up socks. And basically what I do is I will take the little ball of yarn, I will start on one end, and then I'll just take all the yarn and I'll just undo it from the cake and just make a little mound of yarn. It's only 2 grams, it doesn't have a chance to get tangled up. I put it in a little pile, and then I get the second one going, and then I just keep going around in circles on the 2 socks until I'm pretty much right at the end, and then I go and join in the next color. So I am behind on these. I would like to catch up and get the first 16 days. I'm on color 4. So clearly this is my lowest priority Advent project. But I am hoping to get a bit more time to work on these. I should have more spare knitting time this week now coming up, because I'm going to be pretty much at home with no huge commitments, no huge time commitments all week. The school semester is done. All of our students have gone home for the holidays, and there's no administrative things to worry about. Most of the administrative staff are also. The university's pretty much closes down for a couple weeks over Christmas. So I don't have any major work commitments. Once Christmas is done, I'll be getting back to getting things prepped for the January semester. But I really do want to take a couple weeks just to enjoy the holidays and knit. So there's that. So I am hoping to have time to catch up on and get more work done on the Advent, my Chickadee Fiber Arts Advent leftovers Scrappy Socks. I think they'll make a gorgeous pair of socks. You saw how that transition was and how all those colors are working in the granny squares. So it'll be really neat to see how that all does up into a pair of socks. So, and then I will use up every last drop of my Chickadee Fiber Arts Advent calendar, and that makes me happy. The Freckled Whimsy yarn, I will do the same thing I did with the Advent 2022 self-striping skeins that I bought this summer. And I will use the 24 rounds or the 24 colors in one pair of socks. Then what I'll do is I'll wind the ball up so that I can start a second pair of socks toe up, starting from the opposite end of the 24 color sequence. And I will knit all the way, I'll knit another pair of toe up sort of shorty socks, and the color sequence will start from the opposite end. So where the first pair are starting with the purple and working up, the next pair will start with whatever the last color was and we'll finish with the purple. So that's the plan. And here comes the heater again. So I've had a couple acquisitions this week. And again, if you've been following the vlog, you will have seen these. The first 2 little skeins of yarn I bought are both from Nanette Wake Studios, and they are both 50 gram, they're each a 50 gram skein of yarn in fingering weight, which is perfect for my 2 at a time toe up sort of shorty socks when I use a bare or an alternate color for the toes and heels. So this first one, I've got my glasses on so I can read them. I think the first one is called Candy Cane. Yes, this one is Candy Cane. And this one is Christmas Spirit. And they are both so pretty. I don't think oh, I got a sneeze coming. So I'm not gonna have time to knit those up into a pair of 2 pair of socks between now and Christmas. We have 10 days, I don't have my watch on. We have less than 10 days till Christmas now. So they won't be done in time. They won't be started in time. Oh well. The other acquisition I have is when this summer we were in Frederick, Maryland, and I bought this skein of yarn from Magpie Fibers, and I just bought the one skein, assumed I would make a pair of socks with it. Then when I got it home, I thought, oh wait, no, maybe, hang on. So I thought, well, I'm gonna mold this over a bit. And then I was looking through some different patterns, and I saw a pattern, I think it's called Kitty Invisibility Cloak by Casapinka. I'll link it down below to the pattern page. And it's a gorgeous shawl that's done with 2 triangles, so it comes out to like an asymmetric design, but it's in 2 triangles. Half of it is done in a garter stitch with a nice either variegated or speckled yarn. The other half is done in a lace pattern in a semi-solid or a solid that coordinates with something in the skein. So I thought, okay, well now I'm going to have to go back to Magpie. I'm going to take this skein with me, and I want a skein of yarn that will coordinate nicely with this one, that's the same base, all that stuff, and that will work for the other half of the shawl. So when part of what made us decide, we went on a little mini getaway this past couple days, where we went to Frederick, Maryland for a couple days, and one of the main reasons I suggested that is so I could go to Magpie Fibers to look for a skein of yarn. So I went in, talked with somebody there, and got this. So this coordinates beautifully. It picks up on some of the teals that are in the skein of yarn, and thought this is perfect. So absolutely perfect. So this is a project I will be casting on in January. It's incredibly unlikely that I will be able to have it done before, have everything else done before the 1st of January and have nothing else to knit, and therefore I need to cast something on. I think that one might be my New Year's Day cast on. I think it might be my New Year's Day cast on. I'm so excited about the pattern. It's so pretty. I'll put a picture of what the shawl looks like over beside me here, so you can see what it looks like, and you'll see what I mean with doing half of it in the speckled or variegated, and half in a contrasty coordinating, doesn't even have to be coordinating, just a contrasty color for the lace section. And it's a beautiful shawl, and it looks like a lot of fun to knit as well. So that is the plan with that. And I think that's about all I was going to talk about. I've been keeping up with a lot of what's new in my life on my vlogs, so I'm going to be continuing with those for the rest of Vlogmas up until I'll probably film something on the 25th of December and have that be my last day, probably. I don't think I'll carry on till the end of December. I doubt it, but we'll see. You never know. But on that note, I should get going. It's about time to start thinking about what to put together for supper and get to working on my Advent scarf. All the rest of my Advent knitting for today, I've done my granny squares, I've done my Freckled Whimsy stripe, And now I need to do my Advent scarf. And then hopefully I'll get that done before supper or before too much into the evening happens. And then I can get going on doing the Chickadee Fiber Arts Advent Scraps Socks. I think that's what they're called. I think that's what I'm calling them. Anyway, on that note, I think I'll let you go. And I will see you again very soon. Bye, everyone.